Hi, friends, insiders, and connected insiders. This is Dr. Nancy Trimbley, and this is our Your Healthcare Arsenal podcast. This podcast is designed for those people who know there's a better way towards health and wellness, but they're not quite sure what that better way is. And my hope for you is that with each episode, you get more knowledgeable about who's available as a resource and you begin to become your own best expert. So today we're talking with Tim Schlank, who is the owner of Highland Acupuncture, and we'll be talking about acupuncture and Chinese medicine. So, hi, Tim. How are you doing
Hi,
today?
nice to see you, Nancy.
Nice to see you too. Oh, you know what? I told you I was going to do this. I do want to tell you about my experience with Tim. And this goes back to 2018 when I had Lyme disease. Interestingly, I got Lyme disease and it was acute, it was horrible. I had a bullseye that was probably about 6 inches across. And I was writing Stealth Health at that time. And as horrible as Lyme disease was for me, and it took me a year to recover, and Tim was a crucial part of my recovery. As horrible as it really helped me in making Stealth Health better because I had to heal myself. Medical care left me. I was hospitalized and on antibiotics for the acute Lyme disease, but the pain I had was so intense it literally made me think about suicide because it was that horrible. I was up for 16 nights straight with intense pain on every narcotic and muscle spasm medication you can imagine with no help. And Tim helped me out of that intense pain and got me to sleep again. And I know, I felt like it was hard work for him. I know it was just so sweet when I could go to him after maybe my third treatment and say, I slept for 2 hours. It was so sweet to be able to say that. And he helped me all the way through that. So that's my experience with Tim. So here he is. And why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Okay, I've been practicing Chinese medicine for 25 years. That includes studying a, Bachelor of Health Science in acupuncture and a master's degree in Chinese herbal medicine. I started out learning Tai Chi, which really changed the course of my life. At that time, I was an ex-engineer studying environmental sciences, looking to natural science to and ecology to find my place in the world. But Chinese medicine came along, and I had my health problems, and Chinese medicine handled them very well. And I'd had those since I was 10 years old, so I'd given up on becoming healthy. But
Wow.
yeah, they were asthma, allergies, migraine problems that came from getting vaccines when Dad was in the military. I'm an Air Force brat, so yeah, I ended up getting 2 smallpox injections in a row because I didn't react to it, and that actually set me off with a lot of terrible allergies and problems that went on for until until I started with a bit of acupuncture and herbal medicine. It was the stuff worked kind of like similar to what you had. You were in a nasty spot, but it was really not any kind of dramatic treatment that I gave you. If you remember, you just took some herbal tea and turned up to some 40-minute acupuncture and cupping sessions, and things just started changing. So
Right.
it's very surprising to someone who hasn't encountered um, such a change when the what you your intervention is so gentle and subtle, but it produces massive changes. And so that really struck me. And I mean, I was gone. I was looking at books on Chinese medicine and looking at where I could go to study it. So
Right.
I've practiced in Australia for years. I practiced on cruise ships, and I've had Highland acupuncture for uh, over 5 years now. we're in our 6th year. We've stayed pretty solid through the time, and we have a number of rooms over there, and it's on Indianapolis Boulevard, and yeah, it's going pretty good. So it's mostly acupuncture therapy, which is cupping, moxibustion, which is a burning of a herb, gua sha and other body treatments, as well as Chinese herbal medicine, which is customized herbal formulas and patent
obviously
pills.
the needling too, right?
Acupuncture.
Yeah,
Mostly,
acupuncture.
mostly, you know, that's where I make my money from. That's what brings people. So acupuncture is very famous. I call myself an acupuncturist. That's what in the Western world we're known as. But acupuncture is only one part of acupuncture therapy, and also acupuncture is part of Chinese medicine, also known as TCM, or traditional Chinese medicine, or Oriental medicine these days. And exercise, diet, and lifestyle are all parts of traditional Chinese medicine.
Sure, right.
Health practice.
The healthy lifestyle, absolutely.
So we all do all of that. And these days, things are moving into the modern world of insurance and scientific acceptance of acupuncture, especially. But interestingly, that nearly always leaves out all of the stuff that has always been with acupuncture, which are the major things in Chinese medicine, which are herbal medicine.
So tell me this. So when a new client or patient comes to your office, what should they expect to the experience to be?
Yeah, well, this almost answers a little bit of one of the later questions that you showed me you were going to ask. That is do you need a referral? How do you get to an acupuncture practice? And you usually won't be referred, except by a friend. A friend will tell you you've got to try acupuncture.
So a medical professional probably is not going to know what you do.
It's not usually coming. But if you ask them, they'll say, yes, you should do it, or I do it, my wife does it, yeah, go do it, or this guy's, they'll even pull out my card and give it to you. That happens all the time. But when you're asking, what can I do, they usually won't tell you. So they don't. There's so much stigma about it. And a lot of people react negatively when acupuncture or anything Chinese, but Chinese medicine is mentioned. A lot of people will have all kinds of negative reactions. And so it's not, so the person who doesn't know you as an open-minded seeking person might not. Right. And medical, medicine is what it is.
Right.
It's a competitive environment.
Oh yeah. Getting that patient is a competitive environment. And but that's a whole nother story.
So you will refer yourself. So you will decide, I'm going to try acupuncture. You'll read it, your friend will, you're looking for an answer for your problem, you'll Google, and it'll somewhere along the line you'll find acupuncture and say, I haven't tried it. Oh, I heard that works. If it works for my condition, well, it works for nearly all conditions. I mean, this is the thing. Chinese medicine has internal medicine and external medicine. It's treating almost everything.
And it's really treating the person.
It's a health
and
practice.
It's not
it just
treating
makes
a
you
diagnosis.
Healthy. It just restores your health, and then symptoms go away. So we don't actually even treat disease. We treat, but we do treat patterns of imbalance. So we do diagnosis. We find out what we see is going wrong with organs or channels or substances in the body, and then treatment comes from there. So
and how do you do that?
There's a lot of intelligence in doing that, and I'll answer the last question as I answer this one, which is, first thing will be a set of questions that we'll email to you, or else you'll fill out when you arrive in the office. So that gives us some background, just of all kinds of signs and symptoms, we call them. So that could be a complaint or just something that shows. We do want to know if you're generally thirsty or if you're generally hot, but that's not what you're complaining of. But we will ask you all those questions, especially what's going on with the stomach and digestive system, how you sleep, how's your energy. We've got to ask those things, and then we'll be asking questions, and then we'll begin with an exam, and that will be include the pulse and the tongue. So looking at the tongue is very often important to back up what we find on the pulse, which shows us which organs and channels and substances are how they're imbalanced.
Ah, that's fascinating. So just to highlight that for our listeners, so no matter what your complaint is, you are asking all these questions, checking the tongue and the pulse so you can assess the person.
Yeah, we're opening up avenues as well. So, if you're, they'll just be often there's little sets of 8 or 10 important questions given by doctors over the thousands of years Chinese medicine's been around. These are really important questions. These are really good ones. And then, depending on what kind of answer there, you might go down that avenue and be asking a lot more. It might be very important, or else it might be important that, okay, that's not, there's no problem with hot and cold, so that's fine. And we might find nothing. It might end up just being, I just feel a pain. We don't have any other information. I mean, that's easy. Then we know this is just a channel or a tissue blockage.
So pain is easy.
Pain is easy, actually. And how about that? Acupuncture has more studies on it than any pain pharmaceutical, than opiates. It's been more studied, more published reviews, and actually even more science for how it works. And is also the only treatment that has long-term results with pain. And that was proven. That's actually the big deal. Was a systematic review done by the journal Pain, which is the biggest neurology journal in the world. It's one of the top 10 medical journals in the world, and they showed that acupuncture gives lasting results 9 to 12 months after a set of 8 or 10 acupuncture treatments for hip pain, shoulder pain, chronic pain, hip and shoulder, etc. So that was
unfortunately with the conventional medical model, they're just looking at pharmaceutical, like running through the list of pharmaceuticals, which what we all know can be extremely dangerous, habit forming, and so it's such a shame that they're not
only
looking at
work for a few
acupuncture first.
hours.
Yes.
And then they were comparing acupuncture for all the time until this review. They were always running these little studies, and they are the ones who are not acupuncturists. So they're only trying to find out the endorphin, kind of angle. How does acupuncture give pain relief the way that we see pain relief, which is, does it work for 3 hours or 5 hours? That's all that's what ibuprofen,
right.
They're just looking, does it work for, is it short or long?
Not for 3 to 5 months.
Yeah, no, not get rid of it. Just, how many times a day do you have to take this stuff? And that's how they compared acupuncture. And then they proved that it was really not much better than placebo. Well, acupuncture is an amazing placebo, so.
Why doesn't everybody do it then if it's
seriously,
such an amazing placebo?
But the long-term result was the thing that they eventually, that blew it all open. So now all medical establishments, scientific establishments, government departments around the world, every single one has to make this statement that acupuncture is proven effective for a number of conditions. And then that number of conditions is growing all the time as we do study by study, because that's how they do medicine, is condition by condition.
They do it, but
what it seems to show is that acupuncture treats all pain because it hasn't failed at any, and that's kind of true. So it'll be 70 to 90% effective for pain, with 90% being the ones that extra 20% being the ones that don't do enough, or it doesn't work well enough. But for 70% of people, they will get a satisfactory or better result that will be long lasting. So
excellent. Yeah, that's phenomenal. Now I know for me, when I would go in for my sessions, you would kind of do an assessment of the day and decide on a treatment. And it would be you would insert the needles. Now tell us about the needles. For those people who, like you said, have a stigma against acupuncture, they might say, I don't like needles. But for me, it was always completely comfortable. And so tell us about the needles.
They're designed to be painless. That's a filiform needle. It's not a needle that you know. So there's nothing like an acupuncture needle in usage anywhere. Sewing needles and hypodermics, and they're solid needles or they're hypodermics, which are very large and very jagged compared to an acupuncture needle, which is super smooth, very fine, and designed to be painless. So they don't hurt when they penetrate the skin, and it doesn't hurt once it's inside. You'll get a dull ache or an electric or a radiating sensation inside, a pressure feeling or
and that
something
would
like
only
that.
be like momentary. That's what I experienced.
You'll experience other sensations during your treatment or afterwards, not a needle
right
thing.
right.
The needle, the actual pinprick of it going through the skin, you won't notice, or it'll just be mosquito bite type of thing,
right,
momentary, and surprise you that it's actually already over when you feel it. It's like, oh, it's already gone. And then it's very relaxing. Most people relax, or else, they can't relax, some people, but people relax 40 minutes.
I know, I used it for nap time, that's for sure.
Right. It's the body chills, and you're in a private, low light, music on, private room, lying on a table, seated on a chair. If you can't lie on a table, you can do acupuncture in different positions, lying on the side, face down. And we do 30 to 40 minutes of acupuncture, and then cupping or a little massage or a little other manual treatments. 5-10 minutes can happen in an acupuncture session. And so people leave with herbs. Maybe 1/5 of people will take some herbal medicine, or we also have conditions, internal complaints, all the allergies, the asthma, the stomach problems. Many of these things are treated with herbs. So people just turning up and telling me how their herbs are going, or else they're just coming in and buying the herbs that are already working for them.
And from my recollection, the herbs they're a powder, right? And you kind of mix them individually depending.
That's the customized one. It's a granule, which is like instant coffee. You just mix it up with a bit of hot and cold water and drink it down. But they are a Chinese herbal medicine is a formula of at least 4 and often up to 12 or even 20 different herbs in measured amounts. They're just plants. There's nothing in concentration like a modern medicine or a supplement. We're not taking anything in concentration. It's a whole plant, which is what a tea is. So they're teas.
Right. And I do have to tell my audience, sometimes they were not pleasant tasting, but you know what?
Right.
We're not
and that's the tea. They're also in pill form. And, I took a pill that you can buy in Chinatown for $5 or $7. And, we sell it for $15 from the clinic. But you can take that's what got rid of my allergies, was just a herbal pill that as soon as I took it just dried up my nose and it worked. Those are very inexpensive, easy to take medicines that actually cure chronic diseases, including COVID. We're treating a lot of COVID. We treat colds and flus and bronchitises and sore throats with just very inexpensive Chinese herbs.
Wonderful.
And we're still treating it. We're still treating post-COVID symptoms and post-vaccine stuff now with those similar kind of herbs. They work very well.
Wow, good to know.
You shouldn't be surprised, because like Lyme, that's a nasty infection, right? And the Chinese herbs are really, one day they'll be where acupuncture is today. People will know Chinese herbal medicine.
Yeah, I think my associate doctor, she told me that there's a couple of Chinese herb remedies like at the local chain drugstore.
Yes, there's new lines popping up. That's right. They're trying to get them into
what do you think
station.
about that? It's probably there's probably off topic. What do you think?
It's it's good that it's happening, but it's not good.
Right.
It's not the right way.
It's not real acupuncture. It's not real Chinese medicine.
It's the right way for us to move forward because of where we are.
Maybe just get more awareness.
But it's not the right way.
Yeah, I get you on that. I get you on that.
But it is what it is, and it's it wouldn't even be there if we weren't an open society. So that's the, you know,
Okay.
that is the right way. And the whole health food store is full of that. Everybody's looking, and
True.
online, everyone's looking themselves
Yeah, they are.
and buying and trying. And yeah.
And sometimes dabbling works. I mean,
Oh
sometimes it
yeah, I mean
does.
it works. They all work. It's just a matter
And
how well it works.
it's about how well it works, and
And whether you give
sometimes
up or whether you actually realize that you can go, you know, there's another step
you
after
can
that.
see an expert on it.
You
And
can. There are
yes,
experts around.
yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. So here's a question. What's your, and favorite is not a great word, but what's your
Mhm.
favorite either client or situation, or what person,
Hmm.
like, do you have one or
Hmm.
couple?
You know, my favorites. I mean, we have to love helping someone who's in dire straits. I'm treating a stroke at the moment. I mean, it's you know,
Wow.
I couldn't hope for anything else in my life right now than for that person to recover. Right? You know,
Right.
that's the one I want to help. And you know, I
Right.
usually have a person of the day that I'm like, you know, I really want, I really wanted to
Yeah.
work here. You know, I do it because I'm pretty soft with seeing people suffer, and I just don't like
You
that.
don't like it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but the I guess the thing that that when I really think about and this profession has made me a better person in a massive way. It's made me into the person that I you know would I didn't know that I could become when I was a kid. You know,
Well, tell me
with
about that.
relating to people. I didn't know how to relate to people very well when I was young, and didn't really get the majority of what we were doing, why we were talking, and how we were spending our times and days. I didn't really understand what the plot was,
Wow.
but caring about others comes when you. I think it's a little hard being a male in a Western society and growing up. You don't really get a lot of opportunity to help people.
Oh, or
And I think it's
yes.
a really good thing. Maybe as a dad, I could just pass this on that knowing what I went through, it's a really good thing to ask your kids to go and help your mum or go and do something that's helpful just during the day. You know, if you remember, like looking at a boy when when the dad says, you know, can you grab the wrench for me, or you know, open that toolbox a little, you know, hold this while
Mm-hmm.
he hammers something. I mean, that makes their day, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
So
a great
I think
point.
that was something that was kind of missing a bit. And
Mhm.
this really, you know, it satisfied that.
And
I help people, and that's my meaning of life,
that's
you know.
very rewarding. I
And then, but the
totally get
ones
that.
that I get the most connection with are the ones who basically come monthly for or something like that for maintenance treatment. We've
Like
helped them a lot
wellness
in the
care.
past, and we know them over the years. And as the years go by, we help them with different things from time to time. But mostly they just come because they like acupuncture, and
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of people that do that, that continue to use it because
Wonderful.
and what we tell people after we've helped them a lot is if you coming back monthly and you always feel better after treatment, and you're happy when you're coming to treatment, you're not thinking this is wasting your time or your money, or you'd rather do something else. If you feel that way, then probably you should be doing something else. But if you're looking forward to your treatment and you feel good afterwards, then probably you needed that, and you know in the long term that may pay off. So
That's a great point. I love that.
you know, maintenance treatment is a part of a healthy lifestyle. Same as doing a lot of things. You know,
Same as with
I don't have
chiropractic.
monthly acupuncture
Mm-hmm.
myself,
Mm-hmm.
but but uh, a lot of you know a lot of my clients do, and uh, and they're the ones that I notice that their personalities have like emerged a lot compared to back when they were suffering. So I kind of always
Oh,
remember the change. Nancy, you see those people when
yes,
they're
I
first
know.
coming and
See it
they're
too.
miserable,
They're
so they don't
cranky.
smile
They're
when they come in the door, and
right.
they don't really connect. But then
Yeah.
after when changes have taken place, they start to and time they then
So true. That's what
we
jazzes
see
me
them
the
become
most. Yes.
themselves again.
They find
And
their joy, they start doing things they love to do, they make better connections.
they bring that into the practice. So they bring that in through
Yeah.
the front door, and they're there, and they talk to you a bit. They talk to the receptionist. They act, and it
Yeah.
maybe interact with another client, and then they leave, and you get great satisfaction
Mhm.
about this being part of like you're onto another chapter now,
What I
and I
love
like that.
seeing is that evolution, absolutely, that transition from being feeling unhelpable, feeling like their life is dimmed, or thinking there's only one option for them and it could be surgery or medication for life, and
Yeah,
seeing that no, there's all kinds of opportunity for healing and I do have control over my choices and there is more opportunity. And so I totally get that. And that's what just makes me so sad when I hear about somebody that's on that conventional medical path and I want to and they don't want to hear about something else. It's like they've been entranced.
right. It will keep them in that first stage, which is the the full of fear, and you're
Fear
in the in
in
the
the
in the
model.
hole, and
Yeah.
there's no lifestyle. There is no quality of life there.
No, it's just saddens me so much. And I've said this on another podcast, but I have always heard throughout my career as a chiropractor, for 30 years, I've heard we have 10% of the population in holistic healthcare, whether it's chiropractic, acupuncture, at any given time, 10%.
Mm.
Then I've also heard if we can just get it to go to 11%, if we can just get it there, all of a sudden everything will shift
Yeah,
and there'll be
yeah.
a massive change of consciousness. And I feel like, Tim, it's happening.
It
I feel like
is. It actually is. It's
they
true.
people
It's
are
it, wa-
more and
it
more
and
disenchanted with medicine.
Chinese medicine was a part of making that happen. Also, like what we've been through, but that was all part of making that happen. And chiropractic broke
Oh yeah,
the
kind of
broke
broke
it
the
open for that
right.
for the next thing to come. And Chinese medicine has been, along with them bringing in, even from, like, that's forced them from conventional to bring in the word, they use the word holistic all the time, and functional medicine's coming, and
Yes,
that type of stuff is also a reaction to it. It is
it's
definitely.
opening up. And for you and I, it's almost like we stand on our ground and we have to not budge because it's so
Yeah,
easy for
yeah, yeah, the
the
next thing to happen.
the
Yeah,
winds of the conventional to like budge us, but we have to stay firm on, I know this works. I know this is helpful. I know this is much safer by multitudes than conventional medical care. I know it. And I
yeah,
know that medical care is hurting people. I know that pharmaceuticals are dangerous, and I'm going to stand my ground right here because our
yeah,
people need it.
yep, yep,
They
yep.
need a better way.
Yeah, they always did, but just more of them know it now. I mean, I think it's, yeah, I'm feeling it, much easier to be what I am these days compared
Mm-hmm.
to, even. And when I started out, of course, looking at the future, you didn't know that it was going to go this way, you
Mm-hmm.
and it actually got, a, a lot, wider acceptance, and
People are waking up.
people are waking up.
Mm.
They don't like they don't like what they're seeing. That's right.
Yeah, they don't like they don't like watching their parents age and be on like 10 medications or their friends, or they don't like the prospects of just what the choices are given to them by the medical model.
The
Um,
internet has opened up a lot too, because
yeah.
it's not direct. You can direct your own, um, what you're seeking.
Yes.
So people are automatically notice what's mainstream, and you can just, okay, well, what's not mainstream, and
What's
then
not?
straight away you find something that's better, right? There's
Yes.
always, there's a mess over there, but there's something better.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
That's part of the reason for this podcast, your healthcare
right,
arsenal.
right, exactly
Absolutely.
right.
Yeah, and we need to become our own best experts because we are all individuals. And somebody, the next person over, even though they might have the same symptoms as me, they don't need the same resolution as me or on the same path as me. So I just love the fact that we were able to bring so much up in this conversation. And I have a few people already in the back of my mind I need to send to you. So look for them over the next couple of weeks. And if one last question, if you had the opportunity to put something on a billboard about just a message you would like people to see or hear, what would it be?
Oh, huh. Isn't that interesting? Um, you know, I think it's that there's reason to hope. It's more than just hope that we've got for for ourselves and for our families and our futures. There's reason, and and and
Nice. There's
and
reason to hope. That's
and we should
great.
dig into that.
Yeah, I love it. That is so positively powerful. Wow, there's reason to hope. That's great. Oh man, you gave me the chills.
Yeah. But we've all used that word and that feeling of hope, through our lives, and at times we didn't have much reason to attach to it. We just have to hope
Yeah,
sometimes, because
right.
we
It's
don't have a
nothing
reason
else.
to. But things look hopeless. But well, there's still hope. But then what is it? But we've moved on a little bit as far as
Yes, there is reason to hope.
health. We're talking about health, and
Yes.
what it creates it as far as meaning of life goes. That's what this is about. And there's always hope there, and there's more reason than ever to
Yes. I
for
love to
that.
say there is a world of opportunity for health and healing. And when you shed the layers of what is um, making you ill, when you shed those layers, I think we find our true joy. I think as humans, we are meant to be fully joyful,
Yeah.
and we can find that. So Tim, thank you so much for your time. It was so great to connect with you. So be well.
Well, thank you. That went very well.
Right,
I
it
feel
really
good.
did. Good. All right, I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thanks, Nancy.
All
Bye,
right,
everyone.
bye-bye.